Happy Thursday, Sooner Nation. It's Thursday night, 9:30. Yeah, we're doing this thing that we do each and every night at 9:30. Every night at 9:30. This is where we are, and I know a lot of you guys are here as well. So join on up. We'll have the call-ins going on later. The newest availability report has been released, and I guess the big news is David Stone's not on it, and Deion Burks is still on it, but he's not listed as questionable. Not listed as doubtful or out. So there you go. What's
Yeah,
up, Jay?
what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Got the all black on tonight, huh? Got the Thunder hack working.
Oh, yeah. All black. Let's get this offense figured out.
Yeah, did you see the Twitter video you put out today?
Who put it out?
Oklahoma football.
About
It'll be
what's going to
back. It's
happen?
what's coming
Homecoming?
back. Yeah, did you see all the comments and the replies?
Yeah, bring
It
the
was
offense back. I saw
bring
that.
the offense back. Yeah, bunch of stuff like that. Hey, Jerm, how confident you feel on 2 days away, South Carolina? Any confidence right now offensively?
Getting Deion Burks back would help. I know I'm not confident in the offense, Jay. It's been abysmal. What would lead
Yeah.
me to have confidence?
Well, nothing
Extra
right now.
credit for coming on early tonight. Hey, when we can, we do. That should be our mantra. When we can, we do.
Yeah, and I think Jackson's going to drop in the chat for us tonight the link to call in. If you guys would like to call in tonight, we're open all night
We'll
for an
start.
hour.
We'll start that at about the 15-minute mark.
Well, go ahead and put the link in there in case that way it's already in there. It's 9:28 in scoreboard. I think he's replying to could you go to there with 9:28 and Texas sucks. Texas sucks. He can talk about the scoreboard for all year long. That's the thing about it. So,
Hey, Ron, no, I have not heard about any departures on a large scale at OU.
no,
Haven't. The
and
only
nothing.
departures I hope there are on the large scale is in the offensive coaching room.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen till after the season. That's just the way it is. Hub says that if Hawkins keeps eating the ball, the receivers won't matter at all.
Not just that. It's not just Hub. Not just that. I don't think Hawkins will keep playing if that happens. If he keeps
If he
eating the
holds on the
ball,
ball,
I don't think he'll stay in the game if they're struggling. I think he's got a quarter. If they're struggling after quarter number one, I think you see Arnold or Thompson.
well, the difference in this game is the last two games have not been a Norman, and the offense hasn't been great. Well, Auburn, it was okay. Texas, it absolutely was abysmal. If they throw anything like that out there Saturday, be ready for it, fan. The Boo Birds will be out. We'll be out in full force. There'll be people. I don't know what they will be screaming. I don't think it'll be like "We Want Arnold." I think it'll just be Boo Birds, Germ. Uh, BV and his presser didn't rule out playing two quarterbacks.
That is correct. He left it open, which is interesting. To me, it seems like he's not ruling it out if Hawkins is struggling. Hey, real quick, big time games this weekend, Jay. You got Texas, Georgia. You got Alabama, Tennessee.
Great games.
Who
you picking in those games?
I got Tennessee Volunteers beating Bama, and I
do too.
Probably going Texas. Although I'm
going Texas.
I think Carson Beck plays his way back to the Heisman if they win and he has a good game.
Mess says go Dogs. I think Texas beats Georgia. I just think they got too much firepower on both sides of the ball. I think they're the most complete team in college football right now, and I think right behind them you got a few teams that are kind of in a category. I think you got Ohio State still. I think you got Oregon, and probably Georgia. I think those are the clear top four, and then everybody else. I just think other people are a step below them.
Iowa Sooner, a 500 season is on the yeah. If you lose this game, it's a massive stretch run to get to 500. Sad.
Chris says no on the two quarterback causes the confusion. I agree with you, Chris. I know Jeremy's on the other end. Jeremy loves the two quarterbacks right now for going on the rest of the year. I think he's wanting to see
until one of them steps up, Jay.
But how are you going to see in this offense, Jeremy? Who's going to stay? I just don't know if there's enough there offensively scheme-wise
right now, Jay. But if they don't score tutty in the first quarter and they have 3 and outs all over the place, you bring the other guy in. I'm not saying you have to alternate possessions. You got to be willing to play both. That's what. Is that a better way of saying it? You have to be willing to play both guys.
Why not
Maybe
all three, Jerem? Why not all three?
I'd
Any
be fine
chance at
with
all,
Casey
Casey?
Thompson.
Any chance at all? And Caravan says that Casey needs to play.
I'm fine with that, Jay.
Then to me, you're just adding more problems. I mean, it's just like, and the reason I say problems is like, if you can't figure out one quarterback, then you can't figure out two. Now you're going to throw another one out there. Can't figure out three. You got to pick something and go with it. I just think you
Jay,
got to give Hawkins the full game and see what he does. Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm just absolutely sick and tired of.
What's that?
I alluded to it earlier in the week. I am so flipping tired of hearing the players and coaches not just come out and say they suck on offense. I mean, you hear Troy Everett.
Down this.
Troy Everett, Jay, said, this is the closest line group I've ever been with. You know, all we got to do is just the little things. Come on. Come on. Come on.
How long have you been talking about that? A week now. Hey,
just say we're not any good.
Felita says, I thought they fired Seth. Was that it? Was a nothing's happened to Seth Luttrell. He's still coaching.
And he's still on the coach's corner. Fired. He's still on coach's corner tonight talking about execution. Just got to execute better. Got to take care of the little things, you know?
Do you got your suit jacket ready?
Yeah, but I'm not wearing it right now.
You don't want to do that tonight?
Why? It's a waste of my time to act like what they're saying in the coach's room, which is basically ridiculous.
Who was in the coach's room?
Jay, I would hope behind closed doors they're saying this is awful, but I don't know if they are, Jay.
Do you really think coaches sit there and watch that don't think that they got problems, Jeremy?
I think there's some coaches if they just make that one
block. No, they don't.
I think there are some.
No, I don't. I disagree with that, Jeremy. I disagree with that 100%.
The first 3 and out, there's going to be people booing. And Iowa Sooner, I'm with you. I don't think he's done at OU if Hawkins struggles.
And I agree with Jackson here too. I think BV knows what's going on. Whether he says it or not, I don't care. And you can't tell me that BV doesn't know it's garbage, like Bobby says.
He knows it's garbage, but man,
it's one of those deals. I mean, I agree with you. I wish he would come out and say it's unacceptable at Oklahoma.
That's all. That's all I want. That's all I want, Jay.
And
I want the players. I want the players and coaches alike to say this is pathetic. It's not acceptable. There's got to be some changes. We've got to play better, but there's got to be wholesale changes here.
I'm with you on that. I mean,
I actually love BV. Famone. I love BV. Absolutely love BV. I mean, a lot of this is on BV. The only way he doesn't come back is if they don't make a bowl or he doesn't make any changes.
Hey, real quick, Ron, you're right on this. The defense last week was their worst performance. They had a lot of missed tackles, stuff that you would think they've been making all year long. So they got to be better. I think they know that too. They put they said a lot of bad things about the defense. That's the thing about it. They're owning up to it. Lou says, be hilarious to have Jeremy in class.
Yeah. Listen, when I go conjunctions, it's not about quarterbacks. It's conjunctions and, but, or, 3 of them right there. Not 2 quarterbacks, 3 conjunctions.
What's the song?
Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Actually, Jay, maybe I'll do this later.
Do you have your rap?
I wrote a direct object rap for my students.
Drop it. Let's go. Now's the time. Right.
Who wants to hear a direct object rap, Jay?
Is it better than the Malcolm Kelly rap?
No, but it's a legit direct object rap if you know what direct objects are. I'll drop it in here later.
Hey, you got to tell me what a direct object is first.
Oh, they do want to hear it. This is my rap. Do not disturb. To find the DO, you must first find the verb. That's right. That's what you do. You conquered step 1. Let's go to step 2. You say verb what and then verb whom. That's how you find the DO Mr. Lust's classroom. Mr. Lust's rap is the main attraction. Remember, if there's a DO, then the verb is in action. But what if the verb is linking? Then we must change our way of thinking. No longer looking for the DO, but the PN and the PA. That's our goal. Hope you enjoyed this little song. Remember all that and you'll get none wrong. Come on. Let's go. Drop it in here.
That's nice, man. That's better than your trumpet, man. That's better than your trumpet player, man. Geez, that was good, Term. How long ago did you write that?
And mark it down. Devon Mitchell's getting some snaps this week.
Oh, geez. Hey, hey, how long ago did you write that?
Man, back when I taught sixth grade, probably I got several. I got 3 or 4 of those bad boys, Jay.
Do you really? Maybe. Hey, do you have another one for us later in the show?
I mean, I can. Do I really need to though?
Well, I think they're going to want you to after that
Hey,
one. That was pretty clean, man.
however you can get kids to learn, man, that's what you do. That's
That's
enough
right.
English
Hey,
and grammar for the
hey,
night.
you know
There'll be
what?
a quiz.
Maybe.
There will be a quiz tomorrow night before the OU SEC game. But right now, Jay, does Devon Mitchell play? I say yes. He gets some
No,
snaps.
no, he won't. Hey, Jerm, but I was thinking as you were singing that, I was thinking, you know what? You do this song, you create it for your kids to learn. Maybe on offense, they could create some schemes to help guys look better on offense. Wouldn't that help?
You, you
That would
think?
help.
Speaking of rap,
Scheme some things. How
my
about that?
oldest son went to a vinyl store today, Jay, to get rap records.
Wait, what kind of rap is he playing?
I don't even know, but he's
Wait,
rap
you know
records. I
what he
didn't even know they
bought.
make vinyl rap.
You
Uh,
know what he bought.
when are you gonna stop? Maybe never. Oh, real rapping. There we go. Hey, maybe I should write one for tomorrow night. I might do it, everyone. I might do it. I might come on here
Whoa,
tomorrow night
whoa.
and
Hey,
drop a song about Seth Luttrell.
oh, that would be legit. Hey, first off, Jackson, Drake is not rap, in my opinion. Drake's not rap at all. Come on now. Drake is
MC
not rap music.
Grammar. I love it. MC
Jeez.
Grammar.
Yeah,
The
instead of
Graham. I
MC
used to
Hammer,
be
I
the
like that.
Graham rapper. The Graham rapper, Jay.
Hey, you won't find that on many OU shows right there. You won't find that on many
You
OU
can go to any other
podcasts.
podcast. You ain't getting that, okay? Stay here with us. Jay,
Yeah.
Chester says it's the scheme. Monty, if these guys can't straight up run block and not gain 2
I
yards, but here's the deal, Chester. I agree it's the scheme. But my question is, why are they changing it so much? And
I don't know,
I've
Jeremy.
got an honest take here, Jay. I'm
I hope
fired up.
all
It's
yours are
12 minutes.
honest. Aren't all yours honest? Come on.
Always. It's 12 minutes. It's 12 minutes in here. Bill Beanabo didn't get stupid over the years. Jay, why isn't Bill Beanabo going to Seth Luttrell and say, hey, let's run our bread and butter play that we've run for years here? Instead,
Well,
they're changing up run scheme every week. What's going on
well,
here?
here's the thing. I think if you go look at even in the NFL and college, when you have a good quarterback coach or a good head coach that has a good relationship with the quarterback, what do you see them doing on the sidelines a lot? Button heads. They can argue with each other. Seth Luttrell and Bill Beatenbow have a great relationship. They should be able to go speak freely to each other, have arguments, get it right. It almost, from my perspective, it almost looks like Bill B is just kind of like, just kind of. I don't want to use the term. I can't use that term, but it's just they don't look like they're being coached up as much this year. Maybe that's the talent. Maybe it's the talent level. I don't know, but maybe it's the scheme. I think I've said all along I think it's a scheme. I'm not a big fan of Seth Trail, never have been. When he got hired at Oklahoma, I think the scheme's not very good. And I think it really goes down to every position group in the offense. I mean, I've watched teams that have half the talent of OU, scheming up things to get guys wide open against pretty good teams. I don't care if you're down to your sixth, seventh, and eighth receiver. You should be able to scheme something to get him open.
Absolutely.
That's my issue. That's my issue. So uh, I think Jackson's going to drop the call in a link if anybody would like to call in tonight. Lines are open. Bring us what you got on your mind tonight. Keep it clean, though. Keep it clean.
Hey, that's the thing. We don't know, and this is the deal. We don't
We
know if
don't.
they are.
We don't know what goes on. We don't. You're right. We don't, and
Chris
that's why I
says
said from my perspective, I don't know.
scheming is a huge issue. Chris says his opinion, they don't have a scheme. Uh,
Yeah,
Seth got fired from North Texas. I haven't gone back. There was a weird deal about his firing, Jay. You remember?
I don't remember. No.
Like, I don't think really he thought he deserved to be fired. It was kind of out of the blue, I think. I haven't researched it enough. The call-ins are open. Hit the link. The link's up here if you want to call in tonight and give us your thoughts.
Hey, and I know that XXD Scott says had open receivers and quarterbacks are missing it. And I'm not disagreeing with that. I still think a lot of that comes down to preparation from the OC about getting your quarterback prepared. I know they're young quarterbacks, so they make some of the mistakes, but I can't put it all on the quarterback. I just
Greg
can't.
God calling out Stephen Corliss's EA 25 game.
Ooh,
Chalk it
Steven,
up
where
to
you
our
at, bro?
chalk it up to our quarterbacks having no real game experience. Hawkins is a true freshman. Jackson had one full game under his belt before the year. But hey, Mr. Dilligaff, I think even more of an issue than that is they're not being developed. The coaches are not doing them any favors. In fact, they're doing it a disservice.
Yeah, something's missing. Something's off.
What are they even looking at on the iPads on the sideline? Because they don't change anything.
And yeah, I agree with Chris here. Look at his comment. Vanderbilt beat Bama with not half the talent, maybe a fourth of the talent as Bama probably. But they
Hey,
did it.
I don't.
How? I mean,
Hey, let me say this, Ron. I don't think there is a delay. I'm not sure if there is on y'all's end, but if there's profanity, you're gone. Won't be on here again.
yeah, you can't call in and use profanity. Absolutely not. I mean, that's not about this show. We try to keep it clean. No profanity in the chat. No profanity on calls. I mean, that's just the way we run. So if you don't like it, there's other ones out there that use profanity, but we don't do it. So
Bobby said Latrell was fired because he only won the games he was expected to win. Never won any of their big games.
well, that's true. Aren't they like 5-1 right now at UNT? Hudson says 6-3 South Carolina. He's got me beat him. I got 13-10 South Carolina. Can you imagine a scenario where OU scores 3 points in back-to-back games?
I can't imagine it, Jay, and I don't think it happens.
Can you? That would be.
I would be shocked, Jay. I would be shocked if they scored.
Mess says they're playing college football on the iPads, Jerm.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if you do that, Jay. Absolutely shocked if they score 3 points.
Yeah, I would too.
We have a caller on here.
Yep, we got a caller. Looks like we got Chris on the line. How you doing, Chris? Chris, you there? Chris, we got you.
I don't hear him, Jay.
Chris, can you hear us?
That's a negative, Ghost Rider.
Hey, try it again, Chris, here in a minute. I don't know what's going on.
The South Carolina defense is absolutely serious. Yes, they are. Their edges are great. Their DBs are athletic and tall. They have a stud linebacker. I mean, they are really, really good. Really good on defense. I think they're actually top 20 in the nation on defense. So it's even going to be harder. Mr. Dilligaff says, case in point, both quarterbacks missing wide open receivers. Pretty sure they aren't very good at reading a defense. That takes a ton of film watching with their class schedule. Yeah, but their class schedule, that's been the case for everyone. To me, it's more about when they're in the film room, I'm not sure what they're getting from their coaches.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, we're going to try this again. Are you good there?
Chris, can you hear us? No. Over under, how many series before Hawkins is replaced by Arnold? What do you got, Jay?
I don't think he's going to get replaced by Arnold. It's not going to happen.
I'm going to say
this game. Not this
one
game.
One quarter, no points. It's time to replace him. Was it Chris Rhodes that called?
TCU and Texas was pretty close. From 3 points, I think is what he's saying. Play both quarterbacks. Aaron's with you, Jerm. He's wanting that. Who is working with the quarterbacks? As Brent Venables told us this week, a whole plethora of people. About 4 or 5 guys, it sounds like.
Plethora of people. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Zias. My thoughts too. Everyone has class schedule unless you're a graduate student, and you still have classes.
Hey, I think we have another caller on the line.
Who we got?
Believe we got Sooner Freak 29. Let's get him added on here.
Let's try it after
Jackson,
last
if you
time.
can add in. Sooner Freak, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we got you. How you doing?
Good. I'm just calling in from last night. Jerm wanted to ask me some questions. So.
Yeah, Jerm, here you go, man.
Hey, I know you called. It was the Fasusi thing, right? Several months ago.
Yeah.
When you said Michael, is that who you're referring to?
Well, after I mentioned the name, I thought, crap, maybe I shouldn't be mentioning names. I don't want to get nobody in trouble, but
yeah,
I can tell you.
Let me just ask you what your thoughts on. Would you like Casey Woods as coordinator?
Personally, no. Of
Yeah,
course,
and I'm
I
kind
didn't
of
like.
like that. There are people that are really high on him. I'm not one who would think he's going to be at OU, but
I've actually heard it from two sources from, from, I ain't gonna say the team, but I will say uh, they're involved with the team a lot. So
that's interesting because where was he before SMU, guys?
I thought he was at USC at some point, wasn't he, or not?
I have no
I,
idea.
I I don't know. Maybe Jackson can look it up. Casey Woods timeline where he's been.
Hey,
Jackson dropping in.
Sooner Freak 29, and you have been right before. Who would you right now if Seth Luttrell was let go at the end of the year because he's not going to be let go midseason? Who is your guy?
I don't know. Someone that's good.
Yeah, I think Brendan Marion's the home run hire if that were to happen. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I really don't. I think there's.
there it
I
is.
think you got to let it. You got to let it play out. You
Tight
got to
end
kind of
coach
see what
at Missouri.
happens.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Sooner Freak. Casey Woods was tight end coach at Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I agree with Bobby too. It's not very impressive. I mean, he hasn't been calling plays that long.
Yeah. I wasn't impressed with it. I mean, that ain't who I'd pick, but
Here's what I'm going to say, Sooner Freak 29. I have duly noted it on a notepad in here in my pod room. I wrote yesterday's date so I can go back to the video and watch it and shout you out if you are correct. How about that?
sounds good to me.
Thanks, Sooner Freak.
I'm 100% correct, but
all right.
Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate you
thanks for
calling
calling
in.
in, Sooner Freak.
Yep.
Appreciate you all the time.
Have a good one. Bobby says only since he got to SMU, he's a Malzahn guy. Now, I do love anyone out of Gus Malzahn's tree, Jay.
Really,
I love Gus Malzahn's offense.
let me.
But the deal is,
we talked.
SMU struggled this year.
Hey, and listen, I know there's a lot of people that are on this train because they beat Bama.
They beat
I would encourage. Here's what I would encourage all Sooner fans. First off, nothing's. I mean, Seth Trail's still the OC, and I think whether or not you want him gone or not, you want to see improvement from OU's offense this year. I mean, we can talk about next year when next year comes in the offseason, but I want to see improvement even with Seth Trail there. I want to see them do some things and get better. But I will say this: if they do go another direction in the offseason, Sooner fans, I think sometimes I think the expectations for an OC at OU are sometimes looking a little bit low. And a lot of people think, let's just get the new up and coming guy. Maybe there's a guy that's called play for years that wants to be an OC again. I mean, look at Chip Kelly with Ohio State. I'm just saying, I think you need to broaden your horizons. Just because a guy made a few good calls at Vanderbilt and they've looked good in a few games, their offense is not putting it on fire. I mean, they did against Alabama, but I'm just saying, let's just hold your horse on some of these names I've been seeing.
Hey, Monty's got an interesting one because this Hugh Freeze would fit the same boat as a Chip Kelly, someone who's been a head coach who then gets fired. Would you take Hugh Freeze? I absolutely would for an offensive coordinator.
First off, like I said a while ago, I don't really even like talking about names for next year.
I agree.
But I will say this: whenever that happens, you have to go with somebody that has experience, I think. And let's face facts. I think Brent Venables needs somebody that he doesn't have to worry about on the offensive side of the ball. I think he's better off. He can manage it. But you don't. I mean, Brent Venables. I mean, this is the year you'd think he'd probably be pretty involved with the offense, but it's not looking good right now. So.
Where does the recruiting class finish? I think the recruiting class still finishes well. I think Brent Venables has proven he's a good recruiter, really good recruiter.
Well?
Hey,
how well?
Elijah 20? Thomas tonight is killing it, looking great.
He's good. He's good.
Top 10. Someone asked about Fasusi. I think they're really high to still keep Fasusi.
You guys really think they're going to end up top 10 in class?
Are they going to lose a lot of people, Jay?
Well, I think they're already out of the top 10. I think they're going to be about 15 or 16 at the end of the year. That's
what are they right now? Aren't they 8?
I don't know it off the top of my head, Jerm. I don't
You're
follow
saying
as
they're going to
close
have
as
several
other guys.
decommitments, right, Jay?
They already had several, Jerm.
They
They
had a
already had
couple,
several.
yes. They had a
Okay.
couple.
I think top 15. I think you're going to be about 15 or 16 probably. And this is a great
0.
question, Dalpos.
Okay, I can't say 0, but here's what I'll say. If they keep playing, like if they go 7-5 or worse, he's gone. So there you go. Put your percentages. 7 or 5 and worse, he's gone.
Hey, this is a good
They're
comment
11th
here.
right?
Io Sooner says, I think the issue with this team is that Venables is a control freak and perfectionist who doesn't empower people and rarely, if ever, compliments his players or coaches. It is a fatal flaw. I disagree a little bit. I understand where you're going from on this comment. I do
I
think
agree a lot with him.
I think he compliments him maybe behind closed. I don't know if he does it publicly as much. If that's what you're saying.
Gus Malzahn. Man, UCF is not as good as I thought they would be.
No, what happened to them? They got a transfer quarterback.
Jefferson, dude.
He didn't play last week. They benched him. They benched him last week.
Hey, Chief. Now, if OU wins the rest of their games during the college football playoffs, Seth Luttrell would not be going anywhere.
Yeah. Hey, Jackson, go ahead and drop that link again for anybody who wants to call in, or you can pin it, whatever you want to do. Get it in there. If you guys would like to call in, talk, plenty to talk about tonight. 2 more days till game day. Early kick, back-to-back weeks. You got the Ole Miss game going to be at 11.
Not 11. 11:45.
Yeah, but you got the Ole Miss game at 11. That's kind of crazy. So
what is up, B. Reich?
Be right.
Call-ins are available. You guys saw the StreamYard link there. If we lose Saturday, Brett says, will anyone sit out the rest of the year? Well, I'd have to look at
wait. No, you should know the answer to this right now. Remember from last night? Your photographic memory can read the future as well. Remember? So you should know the answer to this. You got a photographic memory, you said.
Photographic memory does not read future. I've argued with this.
That's
I finished my take. Will anyone
ask people in the chat? That's what you said last night. So go ahead.
No, I'm not going to answer it.
No, answer the question. Jeez, don't be a baby.
Come on. I think there's guys already, I think, that are hinting at sitting out. Anyone that's that could redshirt and hasn't gotten to play, they're not going to come play the rest of the year. To me, I think Devon Mitchell has to play tomorrow. Sorry, Saturday.
You know what?
Has to play.
Hey, Jerm, I understand where you're coming from on him, but you seem like so over the top with him playing. I just don't know if it's going to happen right now.
Over the top?
Yeah, you've been saying it for a few weeks, and I get it. I listen.
He's 6'5", 280.
I'm with you.
I'm over the top about him playing.
I'm with you, Jerm.
Or we can try Bauer Sharp and Jake Roberts out there again.
What makes you think that he's going to play?
Well, they've watched film and said, golly, we don't have any athletes out here. Let's get someone who can make a play. Hey, the question, I think Brett's real question is, are guys like Stutzman and Bowman going to say they're done? Because that's what I want.
No.
I don't think those two would, but.
Here's the deal. For one of those guys, I think to sit out would be if they get kind of a minor injury and then they don't want to risk it. That would be the only chance I think on that. So
hey, Jay, wait, Barnes is questionable.
I don't know about that.
I didn't see Barnes on the list.
Jackson, if you could look that up, we got another caller. Why don't you go and add Chester in?
Real quick, before the caller. After the caller gets off here, I'm going to address this. There's a reason he hasn't been playing. Okay, I'm going to get to that in a minute. Who we got on the line?
Chester, I believe.
What's up, Chester?
Hey, all. How you doing?
Good, you?
Yeah, I was just curious if it was just a rumor, but I swore I seen a bunch of OU guys right after the bowl game last year talking about Lanning wanted to come here, and they didn't even talk to him. Is this true?
Here's what I
are you talking about when are you talking about when they hired BV?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, and hey, Jay, let me take this first because
I didn't mean last year. I meant
you
know what I meant.
I got you.
Here's what I would say. Absolutely, Dan Lanning was looking at OU, I'm sure, when that job came up. Of course, Oregon comes up too, but I don't think OU went anywhere and looked for anyone. They might have acted like they did. I think BV was their guy all along. Do you agree with that, Jay?
I do. Here's what I think. Here's what I'll say. I think the Lincoln Riley thing, the way he left, and this is guys, everybody listen to this. This is not anything I've heard. This is Jason's opinion. Okay, that's all this is. My perspective is they wanted to go get a guy that they thought would stay here forever. Like he would be like here for 20 years, kind of like Bob said, forever. Like he's not going to leave for another school. And I think that's why they maybe had their eyes set on Brent Venables. Plus, look what he did as a defensive coordinator. It's his time to be a coach. He's been waiting for that opportunity. I would agree with you, Jeremy, on that. I think that's probably what they did. I mean, Chester, what do you think? Do you think that was kind of their guy all along, BV?
Yeah, I do think so. But it just irritates me that you had somebody like a Lanning interested. But the one guy I did want at the time is Matt Campbell. I know a lot of people don't like him. All I know is he recruited a 5-star tailback at Iowa State.
He's
that
been
means
really
he can
good there.
recruit. And he kicked the crap out of us many times.
Hey, one thing I'll say
He
about Matt
beat us
Campbell
with Baker at home.
Yes.
You're right. And the thing about Matt Campbell, if you go watch Iowa State, almost every single year you go watch him. If they
All right, this
started
is a
off
le-
slow by the end of the year, they were playing good ball. They really do improve throughout the year usually.
What
But
I'll
this
say
was the
about Matt,
last thing I wanted to suggest.
yeah,
I personally, when after what Riley did, and I think a lot of people forget how bad it was. We lost in one calendar year. We lost Chandler Morris, both Caleb and Spencer. What's the other guy's name?
Mordecai,
Dang it,
Cam Mordecai.
Mordecai. Thank you. That's 4 QBs in one calendar year. That is minimum 2 years of quarterbacks. It's
yeah,
probably 4 years, but they always leave earlier, or you would lose a transfer here or there. But that was 4 in one year. I don't care who
yeah,
you are, you're going to struggle after that.
I
So
agree.
I may not like DG, but I did appreciate him being a band-aid for us to try to get us back to something.
Yeah.
yeah.
But what I'm getting at is I was going to give BV until after next season. That was always my
I
intent.
think most people agree, yeah. But now
But
you're
these
not there, are
hires
you?
he's done now, his defensive hires, other than Roof, have been absolutely amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
offensive hires have been absolutely terrible, other than Levy, which I guess everybody dislikes Levy. I thought his offense was awesome. Yeah, I didn't like that he went 1,000 miles an hour, but we did very well with not such great offensive talent, in my opinion. I mean,
yeah.
Stoops was our best receiver.
Yeah.
Plain and
Hey,
That's
simple, he
yeah.
was our best receiver.
they miss Stoops enormously, Chester. And hey, Jeff Levy, let's just call it like it is. I don't think he was ready to be a head coach. I would love for him to still be at OU, but he's
No,
not.
he left because of Art Briles.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Oh,
it's
that
the
whole
man's father-in-law. He came on the field after a game. Come on.
Yep. Yep.
But
That's right.
anyways, this
That's
this
right.
is what I really want to get out. What if BV's going to be there for a few more years, and then they elevate Allie into head coach? What about that?
I'll have to
Here's
see
what
it.
I think, Chester.
I'll have to see
Hey,
a little
thanks for
more
the
from
call,
Allie.
Chester.
I'll let y'all go. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for the call, Chester. Let me answer that with what Chester just said. The thing is about if Brent Venables, in my opinion, is going to be here a few more years, that means he's turned the whole thing around and he's going to be here for a lot longer than that. That's what I would say to that. I like Zach Alley. Zach Alley's not ready to be a head coach yet either. I mean, and Sooner Freak says he still thinks BV's the guy. He just needs a whole staff change. I'm talking to everybody. I would agree. Sooner Freak, that might be the thing that I mean, Brent Bills might have to do that. I mean, for his job. And hey, let's get to Chiefs super. Thanks, Chief, for the super. We appreciate it. Says I think BV was the uh, right, right hire. He loves OU and is a defensive guru. He just needs a higher home run OC. When that happens, we'll be lights out. Love this show. Appreciate it. I agree, but here's my kind of I like to play devil's advocate a lot. OU was headed into the SEC last year, and the OC hire was a crucial hire. And that's what they ended up with. Bad mistake headed in the SEC, it looks like. So that does fall on Brent Venables. I mean, he does make
Jay,
that hire.
Jay, I at the time, and you did too. We both said BV was the right guy, and he still very well could be the right guy. If they go 5-7, though, I'm not sure how long they're gonna have him with not getting a bowl game. But I agree with Chief. They got to have a home run hire, a home run hire offensive in the offensive staff. There's got to be some decisions made. I mean, I absolutely love BV. I hope it works out for him. He's a defensive mastermind. What he's done with OU's defense is phenomenal. They're ranked 11th in the. If you saw that one stat with ESPN, I mean, there's been some great things, Jay, that he's done. But the fact of the matter is, it's what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, and I think Crystal dropped it in earlier about Mike Shanahan from Indiana. Uh, I like a lot of people on Indiana staff, to be honest with you. I like Sir Kurt Signetti. I got like Mike Shanahan. I mean, anybody with the last name of Shanahan, sign me up. I mean, that Shanahan's are coaching offensive masterminds. Every one of them has been. So, for sure. Hey, I was wanting to also say this. Hey, I think we've been talking about staff changes or who's going to be the next OC, talking about head coaches for the last week. I mean, what about this game Saturday and the year ahead for Oklahoma? Like, I think a lot of people sitting here have thrown in the towel, and understandably, offensively, it's been so bad. But what can change? What will change, or will anything change over the next few weeks?
What can change? Well, here's what can change. They
Hey,
could
did you
get some.
get to that comment real quick? I'm sorry, I saw Chris' comment up there. I forgot to read it. So.
Here's what can change. They can get a few guys back. That can change for the better to where maybe they could get to 20 points a game.
Whoa, that's a big jump. I don't see that happening.
They scored 20. They scored 21 against Auburn on the road.
Chris brings up the field situation. I don't think that
so.
has
That, Jay.
Yeah. Hey, no profanity in the chat. I don't know who did it. I just saw somebody say no profanity. Matt says the O line isn't the issue; it's the receivers. I think it's more than that. I think it's the scheme of the offense, Matt. Personally, that's
Chris,
what I would say.
I'll be there Saturday as well in white.
Hey, we got another caller on the line. Jackson, you want to let him in? We got Cade on the line. What's up,
What's
Cade?
up, Cade?
What up? How are y'all doing?
How you doing?
I'm all right,
We're doing
man.
good.
You? It's Thursday.
Oh, pretty good. It is Thursday. 2 more days. We see what happens.
That's right.
But we've been talking about all these coaches changes and everything. Let's say we all kind of agree that BV gets another year after this year. Let's say he does get or does fire Luttrell, and he gets a hire, however that may be. What do you guys think I guess successful season next year would either keep BV as head coach or he be gone?
Well,
Cade, it's a great. Go ahead, Jerm.
When he got hired, I said by 2025 he's got to be in the playoff, or you got to get rid of him. I mean, we're talking 12 teams in a playoff. If you're not top 12 at OU, so now with everything that's happened, are they going to be in the playoff next year? Man, there'd have to be some major things. I will say, if you get the right guy, offenses can turn around quickly. But man, I would say you got to be in the playoff by next year.
Yeah, here's the thing. Their schedule is going to be brutal again next year. You're going to still have that's why I think the most important part for the rest of the season, Kate, is figuring out your quarterback. I mean, I think that's a big deal for this team. Figuring out who it's going to be. And you can't be playing shuffle. You can't be shuffling guys. That's why, Jeremy, I know you said 2 quarterbacks. I'm like, you should already know. I mean, whatever it is, they should know, put him in there and let him play a few games. And you're probably, because I think next year, whoever you play, one of those 2 guys is still going to be with not much experience. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, I personally think, especially with them given the extension that they did, I think that man, especially if he had to hire a whole new offensive coordinator and go through all those changes, I think even if he didn't make the playoffs and went like 8-4, I think he would still get another year as long as he didn't go losing record or anything. I think he would.
Well, you can't have losing. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Cade.
Yep.
If OU goes 5-7 this year, is he the head coach next year?
I think 100%. Yeah.
I think he probably is too, John.
The reason I think that is because, first of all, I think they brought him back for a reason. They love Brent Venables and the extension that they gave him. I think they gave him extension through what,
They did.
26, 27, something like that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So you're right, Cade. So hey, appreciate you calling in,
Interesting
Cade.
question, though. Thanks.
Yep.
Have a good night, Cade. Hey, I want to get to this comment real quick, and let me talk for a minute, Jerm. Don't jump in on me here, but Matt says, and Matt, appreciate you joining us again tonight. Appreciate it. Says play calling can't happen because receivers running the wrong route and can't get open, and the O line can't block forever. Okay, couple of things from this comment that I disagree with. This is college football. These are highly recruited guys playing wide receiver. If they're running the wrong route and they can't run routes right, that's on coaches, in my opinion. That's coaching. Brent Venables himself says you're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. And if we're in game 7 and they're having problems running a route, I mean, either one totally bust on recruiting route, on recruiting them. If they can't run a route in college football, I mean, I disagree with that. I can't put on the receivers running a route. I'm putting that
They
on
have
the coaching
open.
staff for coaching them up.
They have open receivers. Last week they had some open receivers. Jay, what's everyone
And
talking in the chat about stuff?
about what? I don't know, Jerem. What do you mean?
I have no idea what they're talking about. Wasn't on my end. I
can't
promise you that. It was not the trumpet. Okay.
No. I think the extension was for recruits more. And here's the thing, though. Could you go to, if you continue to get top 10 recruiting classes and it doesn't equal victories, looks like a lot like another school down the road down in Aggieville, down there in Texas A&M, who had a great recruiting class. I believe they had the best recruiting class in the history of college football. And what did that do for them? Got their coach fired because they couldn't win. So you got to be able to win too. It goes hand in hand.
Lane, I don't want Sam Bradford as a quarterback coach because I don't even know if he can coach.
I've said it before. Get away from the OU legacies. Even Daniel Brooks came on and said if he got into coaching, if there was guys better to coach running backs, he'd want him to hire a guy that not just because he's from OU.
Yeah. I don't want an OU connection. Barking frogs in the live. They said, Jay.
I didn't hear it. I
don't know.
It was a bad hire. Mr. Gilgap says it may be two top 10, but most of those recruits are on the defense, and that's right. He's right about that.
Hey, yeah, don't bring Chuck third down and long back. Hey, someone, I think it was Greg out said the defense is way overrated too, but I still think we don't even know how to measure this defense.
Hey, and
Steve, I know there was nothing on my end.
Why are you? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Why are we even talking about it? Jeez.
Who will be the quarterback coach? We don't know yet. We don't know who it's going to be. I don't think Chuck Long's coaching anymore, guys. He's out of the game, period. I may be wrong.
I don't care where Chuck Long is. He's not coaching at Oklahoma. Move on. What if Heupel would take the job? Now, I've actually saw a Tennessee beat writer write an article about this, that OU could come calling for Heupel. And then what would Heupel do? You know what?
He would tell OU to forget it.
I'm gonna say this in a way that's, as an OU fan, I love Josh Heupel, but listen, I've said it before and I'm not going back on it. I do not want OU hiring somebody with OU ties. Here's the thing. Anytime that happens, go ask Bob Stoops. It's hard. If it's bad hire, it's hard to get rid of him. It's too personal. It's too much baggage with it. And I may throw up in my mouth right now.
Hey, Jay.
Jason Garrett, no.
Jay. Getting rid of Heupel, like they got rid of Venables and brought him back. It doesn't seem to be working out. You're not going to get rid of Heupel. And I think Heupel would say, yeah, I'll interview, and then say, forget it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one else wanted Seth Luttrell. He was an OU guy. He was an analyst last year.
And I know
he's an Oklahoma guy. He played high school at Muskogee.
Now, I will say this, and I want to get to Monty's here in a minute. And Jeremy, I want you to address this in a minute about you put it in the Discord about the stop rate, about the defense. But
11.
Yeah, which is good. So that means you're giving the ball to them a lot more times and they're getting more chances to score. Mr. Dilligaff, I will say this. Somebody like Jason Garrett, I like. Like that's coached, that kind of like Chip Kelly, that wants to come back and be an OC. I tell you the guy, if you're gonna do that, I mean, forget Jason Garrett. Go get me John Gruden if you're gonna do that. I mean,
Every night, dude, you're John Gruden talk.
I'm just saying, I mean, if you're gonna go somebody that's been in the NFL, hey, there are some guys in the NFL. Jared Johnson, I think is his name at Houston Texans. There's a guy at the Rams passing game court. I think it's like Matt Schnillhouse or something like that.
Hey,
But I don't want
JD
to talk
Runnels.
about next year. We got to get through this year, man.
JD Runnels does coach high school football, I believe. Matt, I like Seth Luttrell. I like him as a person. I thought it was going to be a good hire. I was wrong.
Okay, Matt, and I know Jeremy's like Jeremy said, he likes him too. But I agree with you in a couple things. Bad spot in that you got a young quarterback, you got no wide receivers, you got injured offensive lines, you got probably not a great recruiting class 2 years ago on the offensive line that you're trying to deal with. But at the same time, I'm not seeing a whole lot of scheming that I like, and that's just a personal opinion. It shows on paper. I mean, they're dead last, Matt. They're dead last in about every category. That has to fall on the OC. I know it's 1 year, but you've got to fall on him.
And when Josh Heupel beats Alabama again this year, Tennessee's not ever letting him go. Where's the guy from BYU that left Dallas for San Diego? You talking about Kellen Moore?
Kellen Moore's not, and he went to Eagles now.
He was with Boise and then went to, yeah, he's with the Eagles, I believe, Jay. Corey's asking for the link.
Yeah, put the link in there, Jackson Forums. They can maybe call in. Call-in lines are still open. Appreciate you guys. Grub, that's an interesting name. Chuck says Beaver will have to clean house. And it may be one of those deals where clean house or clean your house. I mean, I hate to be that way, but you know how sometimes it's like you got to make changes, or I mean, otherwise you're pretty much right in your fate. I think.
Selene
next few
says,
years.
Selene, appreciate the support each and every night. What do you have to see, Jay, for improvement? Here's what I would say: less of Luke Elzinga. I don't want to see the punter on the field all the time. That would be improved.
Maybe more. Hey, real quick, I'll get to Corey in just a second. Corey, I want to say my prediction. I got Texas 34, Georgia 24. 34-24 Texas. Corey, you there?
Yes, sir.
What's up?
How are you tonight, Corey?
I'm good.
Hey, first off, before we get to your question or comment, did you get smoked last night on college football after calling people out, or no?
No, nobody wanted the smoke.
Nobody wanted it, huh? What's on your mind tonight, Corey?
You know what NFL guy I really like if he were to ever leave?
Who's that?
I like Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
I do too. But there's no
I said it the other night as a joke. There is no way.
Go hire Bill Belichick then. I mean, it's not happening.
I
like the guy too.
Campbell. Now, if I will say this: there's another guy with his last name that has the same kind of intensity, and it's Matt Campbell.
Yeah.
Matt Campbell and Dan Campbell, same kind of intensity. I do agree with that.
Corey, if Dan Campbell was going to coach college football, he would have went to Texas A&M last year, his alma mater, I think.
Yeah.
But
with how bad Texas A&M was last year, I think he might have second guessed that.
The fact of the matter is he's not leaving Detroit because they're going to be maybe playing for the Super Bowl this year.
Facts.
Yeah.
Also, Germ, I'm going to be at the OU game Saturday, so if you want to meet up.
Yeah, I'll be there Saturday as well.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
We'll holler at you. Yeah.
Appreciate it, Corey.
Boomer.
Thanks, Corey.
Boomer Sooner. Have a good night. Boomer. Hey, I want to get to Matt's comment. Does Brent clean out the offensive coaches besides Emmett Murray and Bill Beatable? I think actually the only one that you listed there that might not be cleaned out might possibly be Emmett. I mean, I think you could, at this point, you could say hey, we got another caller on the line. We got Mr. Dilligaff on the line. What's up, Mr. Dilligaff?
Hey, boys. So I guess what I would like to see for improvement is just from Mike or Jackson is just to be able to go through the progressions and actually, if they
Yep.
need to check down instead of just tucking the ball and running or throwing a bad pass on fourth down, throwing it away. You know, I want to see the progression on the offense and actually being able to look like they're actually progressing through instead of just a one read throw or run.
Yeah, it's been a problem, Mr. Diddlegaff. You look at Jackson Arnold, after one read, he would throw an interception, and Michael Hawkins kind of opposite. After one read, he just takes off running. There's not, and that's why I said earlier, that's why I'm putting this on Seth. I think the coaching aspect of it, and I don't know if it's because they're trying to run different offenses every week. Nothing looks similar to me from week to week. I don't know if you're
Now,
seeing anything,
I
but it looks like they're trying something new every week. And at some point, got to coach what you know and then coach the players to run it.
one
I don't know.
one
Yeah.
thing one
Sorry.
thing
Go
with
ahead.
with Mr. Dillegaff's comment there, and I watched a couple of the past games, guys. You're right, because I've seen time and time where the running back, who is the safety valve, has 5 yards. I mean, I get it's like the third or fourth check, and it's the check down, but it's 5 yards just to dump it down the running back, and that's what you got to see. You got to be able to do that at the very least.
Yeah, and or the running back has a lead blocker out in the flats where there's just nobody around him for 10 or 15 yards. But yeah.
Well, I agree with you, Mr. Dillegaff. That's something that would be very much improved if we could see that from the quarterbacks.
Yeah, hopefully we see it.
Yeah.
Need to.
Thanks
Appreciate it, Mr.
Thanks for the
Dilligaff.
call. Hey, real
Hey.
quick, let me defend myself. First off, I saw Kenneth Nichols say he's signing out because everyone's just talking about firing coaches. Listen, I'm responding to what the comments are saying. Obviously, OU's not firing anyone midseason, okay? And I don't think, and I 100% agree with Bobby, the ones that are going to be let go at the end of the year are likely would be Seth Luttrell and Joe John Finley. And Tyler said if Bill Beatemo goes, Fasusi probably goes. I probably agree with that as well. And the other thing is, I never said OU's winning out and making the playoff. I said, someone said if they're 10-2, he'll be gone at the end of the year. No, he won't be. If they're 10-2, Seth Luttrell's not getting fired.
Yeah, and hey,
They'll be in the playoff. That's all I said.
Hey, we still got about 10 or 15 minutes left, but hey, you see the logo up on the top right, www.thefanstop.com. Check them out. Use code Surge, you'll get 10% off your first 3 months. Kevin came on here last night, talked about the shirts, Shirt of the Month Club. We've already seen the November, December shirts. They are fire. You want to sign up for them, so go check that out. Hey, I want to say something too to Kenneth. Was it Kenneth?
Yes.
First off, I've already said 2 or 3 times on this live show tonight that I don't like talking about it either until something happens. But at the same time, this is OU football, and this
Exactly.
is an OU fan. This is an OU fan show, and we are not going to hide. If fans want to talk about something, we're going to talk about it. That's kind of what we're here for. And if that's where it goes now, we can gear it one way or the other. And I said it earlier in the chat. I don't want to talk about it. I want to see what they can do to get better. Uh, but something's got to change offensively, and we've said it now for 6 games, and it hasn't changed. So,
Chris, yeah, I remember his first season, and I've actually talked to Jay, Hunter, and Jackson about this. And by the way, Jackson running the chat tonight, doing a great job, also with the calls.
yeah, appreciate it, Jackson.
Hey, Jay, I've said, why don't we see any coaches yelling at people? Well, one, you got the OC up in the box. Joe John Finley is nowhere to be found. Bill Beatenbow, they never show on the sideline. I wish I could see a little glimpse of what's happening on the sideline. And Lane, I do know that Kansas State's head coach coached at that level and is really good. And I don't think it's ever a shame to go look at someone at that level. I agree, Mr. I would rather see Joe John Finley in the box and Seth Luttrell down in the field right now. Hey, if they did that this Saturday, I'd be all for it. That's a change. That is a change. All I want is some change. Talking about some change.
Yeah, I would too.
Change.
Oh, you don't sing that. Lou says Crystal. I must have missed this in the chat when I was taking the call and trying to click on something there for a minute ago. Crystal, Mike Elko got fired from and he's back. But Crystal, you have good points. I don't know when Mike Elko was brought up, but Mike Elko looks like a pretty good hire at A&M. I don't know if that's what the talk was about, but looks like a great hire in my opinion. Hit that note again, Jerm. Can you do it? Hey, we got about
change.
Please don't. Hey, we got about still got about 10 minutes left if you want to call in. I do want to get to this. The Foji, somebody said, I think it was Tyler from the Texas side, said if BB leaves, Bill Beatenbow leaves, that Fasusi will be gone. And maybe so Ryan Fojek. Here's the thing. Say what you want about Bill Beatenbow. 2 years ago, the class doesn't look great. We do know that last year's class with EPL and some of those guys is going to be a pretty good class, I think. It was highly recruited. And I think this 25 class is going to be really good with Foj, Michael Fasusi, you got Hollenbeck, I believe, and some others there. So it's going to be a good class. Darius Afalava. So it's a good class. So I don't think Bill Beatenbow can't coach line. I don't think you just lose that in a 1 year, 2 year span. My thing is, I said it before. He's going on year 3 out of 4 years with a different OC. That the inconsistency on offense is probably why OU's in this boat right now. You go from Lincoln Riley to Levy to Seth in a 4 year span. That's a lot of changes on the offensive side of the ball. So I
Yeah.
mean that it just is what it is.
John, they do not have small guys. They're over 300 almost all the way across the line. I do think Everett should start over Hickman. And I think maybe we could see some EPL at guard, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Crystal, leaning towards Mike Shannon. I was going to ask Crystal something. Crystal, email us at ousportsroundup@gmail.com, if you would. ousportsroundup@gmail.com. Here's another super for Chief. Chief, is Chief wanting me to sing again? I can do my other grammar song at the end of the show if I need to.
Hey, we got Mr. Dilligoff back again. Do your rap at the end of the song. We got to do it again.
Back,
Mr. Dilligoff, what's up?
Please, no rap, no rap. No, the last thing I wanted to touch on is something that was talked about in the chat, but I really feel like BV is pressing really hard on the quarterbacks as far as the turnover is concerned. Because I mean, come on, look at Baker, or he would go multiple games with 2 or 3 interceptions, but then have 5 or 6 touchdowns and still win the game. Sometimes I feel like sometimes as a quarterback, you just have to be able to have that leash to make the mistakes and learn and grow from it. But if you're too quick to pull somebody and not allow them that ability to learn from those mistakes and try to fight and get back to that position, it kind of hinders the growth on that side as well.
Are you saying for Jackson Arnold, Hawkins, or both?
Either or, it doesn't matter.
So I got a question for you, Mr. Dilligaff. Yeah. I want to ask you something because I agree with you 100%. Don't you think they're kind of hindering Hawkins at the point right now because they're almost they're putting it in his head to not even throw interceptions?
Yeah, which leads to the lack of even attempting to throw. Exactly. Like you would see him missing those wide open shots, and he would be too hesitant to try to take those shots because he'd be too afraid that maybe he didn't see a linebacker coming down or backing up and just, like we had Kip Six do, something along those lines. And you just have to be able to make those mistakes, because if you don't, you're just not going to grow from it. But you can't be hamstrung by that as well. Whether we as OU fans like that or not, we don't want to see turnovers, but sometimes it leads to more growth and just a better overall production from the quarterbacks and even the running backs. Like if you're pulling them because they made a simple mistake where they were trying to fight hard for something, that's just them. They need to learn to, either just go down or, protect the ball better. But if you're just going to yank them after that, then how do it gets in your head, because now you're
I
just second
agree.
guessing everything that you do.
Yeah,
It happened to
I
me when
agree.
I played, so it's just that way.
Yeah.
and frankly, Mr. Dilligaff, first off, great call. Thanks for calling. The other
Appreciate
thing,
it.
both quarterbacks, if you look at it, the swagger's been like taken from them. It's like something in Space Jam. They've lost their swagger.
That's not Space Jam, is it? It does that? I thought it was Thunderstruck.
Oh, maybe okay, Jay. Well,
Maybe Space Jam does it too. I don't know.
Jam does too, Jay.
Here's the thing, and I saw the comment from S about BB how they run the same stuff. I understand that. I just think a lot of the consistency for over 4 years has been they've changed a lot. But good reference they say on Space Jam. Matt
He
again
did.
puts in
Hey,
here.
great
Who
guy.
is Hawkins going to throw to?
He did have swagger in the bowl game. I thought. Go back and rewatch it. Yeah, he threw picks galore, but he's slinging it around at least.
So did Mike Hawkins lose his swagger after Auburn? One game?
Jay, I think they said don't. We know for a fact Seth Luttrell said don't be doing the helicopter move anymore. I think they tried to hone him down. Said don't. We're going to go to Texas. And we're going to not turn it over and play 4 quarters and just be in that game. That's what they told him.
And Mr. Dilligaff, that was a great point. If you go back and listen to Brent Venables' offseason, after spring game, after in the summer camp, and after fall practice and fall scrimmages, it was always the defense looks a lot better than the offense. We're going to have to hang our hat on the defense this year. They're going to have to win games for us. So I think he's probably been preaching that all year is can't make mistakes on offense. And
you know what I want?
does, I think, mentally get to like you're almost scared to make a play because you're scared you're going to make a mistake.
You know what I want my quarterback coach and my head coach saying about me if I'm quarterback? Man, Jeremy, here's what we know.
Holding back.
Here's what we know we're going to get with Jeremy. Jeremy's going to give us. He's going to go out there with the gunslinger mentality. He's going to make some winning plays, and he's probably going to make some mistakes. But that's the type of quarterback he is, and we're going to roll with it. Why aren't we getting that from the head coach? Because here's what they're saying. We just need a guy to get a few first downs. Hey, Mike, just if that first read's not there, get us some yards. Like,
yeah, but you're not going to do that against a fast defense like Texas.
Correct.
And Miguel brings up a good point that we've talked about before. Says he sees no spark from the running backs, bland demeanors, wide receivers too. Something going on with these coaches or that locker room. When he's talking about bland, I think he's just saying that the excitement level. Here's what I'd like to see on offense. I think I said this 3 or 4 weeks ago, and this was in regards to the offensive line. And maybe this is kind of what you were just saying, but if you're an offensive lineman and the guy next to you allows the best player on defense just come rushing through the lane at the quarterback with nobody touching him off of miscommunication, somebody needs to be ripping into that guy on the offensive line. Wide receiver, somebody needs to be going back to the huddle like, I'm wide open. I listen, I usually don't like that. I usually don't like that from wide receivers because it's usually in the NFL and they get paid a lot of money and they just want the ball all the time. But if you're wide open, I'd love for one of the players to come back to the huddle and be like, let's go, I'm open. I mean, there needs to be some type of, I guess, intensity or something. I think is drive or something, man.
Look, OC cannot coordinate. That's not even debatable. The ring.
That's not. You're right, man. I agree.
Fact. And here's another fact. Maybe we'll end it here. Force. I want the offense to look like they actually practiced.
Yeah. For a second there, I thought
hard to get open running a middle school offense. I think those are the comments we'll end it on tonight, Jay. First off, check out the fan stop at thefanstop.com. You won't be disappointed. It's hoodie season, guys. Get your hoodie from the fan stop. Sign up for the Shirt of the Month Club. Use code SURGE, 10% off your first 3 months. Big shout out to Chief for the supers tonight. A reminder to Crystal to email us at ousportsroundup@gmail.com. And all the callers tonight, great calls as always. Appreciate everyone that's been on here each and every night.
Yep.
You're continuing to grow the channel. And for that, we say thank you. But even more than that, we just say thank you for chatting it up with us each and every night. Tomorrow's Friday. Have a fantastic Friday. Chris says, one last time, a super. Thanks so much, Chris. You know the feeling is with all the injuries, like we have no chance. Now, how much confidence that is in that? Come on. I agree. Can they do something this weekend to reverse the confidence and give some confidence. Hit the like. Thanks for the super, Chris. Appreciate it. Almost time for Thunder basketball. I think Schmitty got a hold of the Thunder basketball team because Hartenstein is hurt and now J-Dub's hurt. Where's Schmitty? Schmitty sighting. We'll see you next time.